Hello, my name is John Maddog Hall, and I'm here today to talk about the Caninos Loucos project. I am the board chair for the Linux Professional Institute, the president of Linux International, and a senior advisor to Caninos Loucos. For those of you who are not familiar with me, I have been in the computer industry for over 50 years. I've worked on a wide variety of different systems. I've worked in a wide variety of different companies, as a wide variety of different jobs. I have taught operating system design and compiler design and database design at the university level. And I've been both a vendor of hardware and a customer of hardware. So I've been both the person waiting for the bug fix or the security patch and the person trying to create them for the customer. And along those lines, I tend to be pragmatic. And even though I've worked for closed source companies and open source companies, I feel that open source and free software is really the way to go for the customer. In the beginning of the Caninos Loucos project, before it was even Caninos Loucos, we were taking a look at the Raspberry Pi. It had just been released. It was a wonderful little computer for students and creative makers to be able to buy and to be able to write software and create applications. However, in the United States, it only cost $35 US. By the time it reached to Brazil, with transportation and insurance and customs duties and everything else, it typically cost $150 US on the street price in Sao Paulo when you could get them. The other problem was they were hard to get. They were very difficult to get in any type of quantity for any type of production in commercial use. And so both of these things made the Raspberry Pi less than useful. The Raspberry Pi Foundation was approached to ask if LSI Tech, an NGO associated with the University of Sao Paulo, could assemble the units from component packs, which would allow for a lower import duty, lower transportation costs, and things like that, to assemble them in Brazil. And originally, the Raspberry Pi Foundation said, this is interesting. They came to the campus party in Sao Paulo, and they said, gee, look at all these people, look at all these students, look at all these high-tech people in Brazil that could utilize the Raspberry Pi. And they agreed to a pilot with a very simple plan of the LSI Tech buying parts of packets, bringing them to Brazil, paying less import duty and less transportation costs than they would for finished products, and then selling them into the Brazil and perhaps some of the other Latin American countries. So 5 units were brought into LSI Tech and 5 packets were brought into a boutique integrator in Curitiba. They went through the manufacturing process. All 10 worked. And after all of that, which took about 2 years, the Raspberry Pi Foundation said no. We were never told why they said no. They just said no. So the project went out to a little company in China called LeMaker. They were a small Chinese company. They had made a very nice single board computer called the Guitar. It was made up of 2 parts, a core board, which held the CPU, the memory, and other active components, and an I/O board, which could then be changed to meet the needs of the specific solution. We formed a non-disclosure agreement and a memorandum of understanding for this project. And again, we were just going to buy parts kits and assemble them, and then cut down on the transportation costs, cut down on the import duties. Eventually, we would local source whatever parts we could to cut down even more in transportation and to produce more of these in Brazil. We produced a few units to prove that we could do it, and everything was going fine. About that time, LeMaker, a very small company in China, collapsed. So about the same time, we started to reevaluate our goals. Not just wanting to assemble a little computer that was designed outside of Brazil, outside of Latin America. We wanted to design one which would create interesting jobs inside of Brazil. It would reduce the brain drain of people being educated in Brazil, gaining a certain amount of expertise in Brazil, and then leaving Brazil for countries like the United States or China or Europe, because that's where interesting jobs were. In addition, if you kept those people inside of Brazil, this allows you to attract other companies who want to do research and advanced development inside of Brazil, but who are looking for experienced, knowledgeable people for those jobs. Without those people being in Brazil, they will not come. In addition to all of these goals, we wanted to increase the security in Brazil, both security from things like cyber attack and espionage, which are helped by understanding every single part of the system that you have, by having every single part be open and observable and auditable to make sure that there's no Trojan horses or trap doors or other things, and also to increase security from the sanctity of the supply chain, to make sure that at any given time you can get the components to produce the computers, to produce the boards, to produce the solutions that Brazil needs for itself to go forward. Now recently, there have been lots of issues around supply chain. It was interrupted by COVID. It was interrupted by arguments between the United States and China and other countries. And this constantly changes. You have to be able to produce as much as possible yourself so that your supply chain is not interrupted. While small countries may find this impossible, they can group with other countries to increase multiple paths in the supply chain, and that makes the entire world more stable. So all of these were additional goals. In addition to all of that, we decided that instead of just producing one little computer, the Labrador is our first one, we would create a smaller computer called the Pulga or Flea that would be able to be a sensor computer, to be able to gather up information, transfer that information to a larger computer, say with LoRaWAN, that would be an edge computer. And then an even higher performance microcomputer along the lines of the classic Beowulf high-performance computing system with multiple CPUs on a board that would be able to process that data much, much faster. In addition to all of this, we had another additional goal, which was to partner with other companies to create solutions, manufacture solutions, train solution providers, and be able to generate a large amount of business inside of Brazil. Why should Brazil spend trillions of reais, literally trillions of reais, sending that to the United States, sending that to China, sending that to Europe, for technology which they could design, manufacture, and produce themselves, and sell throughout Latin America? We formed other liaisons. We found out that Actions, a Chinese company, produced the systems on a chip that we were using in the Labrador. And so we're working closely with them in new CPU technologies. We partnered with Smart, a worldwide memory company with manufacturing and design in Brazil, to be able to generate memory for the Labrador. We partnered with Linero, an organization that helps put the Linux operating system onto the ARM architecture and helps with other open source products. And we're partnering with the RISC-V Foundation that's creating a very simple RISC processor that's completely open that we would be able to manufacture and put on future systems. Over time, we want to create educational courses for the creation of new jobs using free and open source software and hardware solutions. How do you design these chips? How do you design these boards? How do you manufacture them? How do you create a supply chain? How do you create solutions using open source? And we want to encourage other people in Brazil to make these innovative boards for use in Brazilian and Latin American solutions. And at the same time, we'd like to export this technology outside of Brazil as solutions to other economies. And finally, we would like to explore building a state-of-the-art silicon facility for creating the actual CPUs, the GPUs, the FPGAs, and other technology necessary to support Brazil up and down the computing line. This, of course, will be a long-term goal, and in the meantime, we can investigate other methods of sharing technologies in an open fashion. With that, it's the end of my presentation. I thank you very much for listening, and I hope that you can ask us questions.